Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today's May 9th, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see California, Hawaiian Islands right here. You can see a strong storm across the Aleutian Islands, the intertropical convergence zone down here near the equator, and you can see Mexico over here. And you can see this system here spinning across the central USA and the Intermountain West. But I want to point out something here. The reason why I'm zoomed out so much is I want to show you what's going on here as we start to go in towards the later spring and towards the summer months here, because we start to really weaken, the cold air aloft and the cold air across a lot of the northern hemisphere, across the North Pole as well. And that weakens our storms here. And that's why we start to warm up across the northern hemisphere a lot. And if you take a look here at the European, this is yesterday afternoon's run, but here's the North Pole. There's Washington State, there's California, there's the Hawaiian Islands, for example. And you can see Japan is somewhere way over here, and you can see Africa's here. So we're looking at the entire northern hemisphere. So if I put this into motion, you can see that it doesn't look like what it did in the winter, right? You're not dealing with this much cold air. And so these mid-latitude cyclones get a bit weaker here. And this is where these mid-latitude cyclones will still form, but they are weaker here because we're dealing with less of a temperature contrast between, of course, the pole, the subtropical regions here, and across the northern hemisphere. So that's what's going on. That's why we start to weaken these storms considerably so during this time of year. So hopefully that makes sense for you a little bit there and what's going on as we head into the spring and the summertime. But in the meantime, we're dealing with some strong winds across some of the higher terrain. Check it out, 4.5 miles southwest of Forest Lake, 74 miles per hour. This is National Weather Service Bay Area here, checking in with some of these wind speeds with this offshore wind event here. So not bad totals here for some areas. Some of these winds can cause some damaging gusts. And this is Sacramento National Weather Service pointing out some of the higher gusts. You can see 1 over 63 here. And some pretty gusty winds have been out there, and this was mainly through yesterday. And as we go through today and tomorrow, we do have the chance of thunderstorms. Probably best tomorrow. You can see in places like Lake Isabella, Ridgecrest, Sequoia National Park, Mammoth Lakes, and Bishop are under the gun here. And this goes to about 6 p.m. Friday evening here. So watch out. Some of these storms could be fairly strong here and prolific lightning producers. If we look at some of the high temperatures, I scrolled ahead till Sunday here because look at thermal in Palm Springs, 101. You can see some areas getting up over 100 degrees here as we go. And as always, if you want some relief, get out to the immediate coastline. You can see how much cooler it is along the Pacific Ocean, which of course this time of year is still pretty chilly out here. Although we don't even warm up that much when we get to the summer months. It's still relatively chilly based on the trajectory of the current off the coastline here. Kind of a cold water current that moves down the west coast of North America. If we look out towards Las Vegas, talking about Friday, Saturday, the potential for some thunderstorm activity does exist across portions of Nevada as well. And then Sunday through Wednesday, we start warming things up. Taking a look here, San Francisco, 81 today, not bad. 76 tomorrow, still pretty warm, but you can see the gradual cooling trend as we go through next week here, kind of cutting off some of the offshore heating here. You can see Napa, look at 88, probably the highest temperature tomorrow. Concord, 89, Cloverdale, 88 there. So yeah, some pretty warm temperatures here for the next couple days. You can see San Jose staying warm as you go through next week as well, up into the lower and mid 80s. And taking a look at Sacramento National Weather Service, this is for today, Sacramento 87. Marysville, Red Bluff, Redding 87 all the way up towards Redding here. And of course, if you want to seek relief, go to the mountains there or the immediate coastline. And again, some warm temperatures through the Bay Area today as well. And if you want a nice affordable weather station, you can just kind of check your weather wherever you go on your phone. This little widget sets up on the top of your smartphone and it shows you the temperature at all time. It'll tell you when it starts raining at your house, and it has an ultrasonic anemometer, stores all the data for you in the cloud. Highly recommend this station. Click on that link down below to save 10%. Now, looking at what's going on here, so I want to show you what we are dealing with into the future. A little bit here with the GFS. So the state of California is here. There's the Hawaiian Islands at the bottom left. Big ridge up and across Pacific Northwest, allowing them to warm up quite nicely as well. Kind of keeping this trough here across some of the southwest, suppressing temperatures a bit. But as we scroll off here, we're comparing two different GFS runs. And I want to show you what we're dealing with because we kind of flatten out this ridge across some of the Pacific Northwest here, and then this ridge tries to build it in again. But watch what happens as we go through the extended forecast, because if we look to the right, you can see how the 06Z is much different than the 12Z. So we have a pretty low confidence in what's coming as we go through the end of next week here. You can see some of this troughing here, trying to dig down across Pacific Ocean here, but big model to run change within the GFS model, I should say. You can see the big ridge out here versus the big trough as we look 200 hours out. So we'll be watching that closely as we come up here. This would have big implications on what we could potentially get as we go through mid-May. And if we look at composite reflectivity, this is the North American model. I want to show you there is the chance for some thunderstorm activity across Nevada and even across the Sierra Nevada today. But we increase that chance as we go through tomorrow. Now here we go through tomorrow afternoon. And look at some of these stronger storms here, especially across the southern Sierra Nevada. Some of them might try to drift out towards the foothills or the transverse range as well. There could be some gusty winds associated with that activity here, and especially across Nevada. Also, you could even get one pretty close to Las Vegas here, especially across the higher terrain. So, keep your head on a swivel out there when thunder roars. Go indoors. You guys know the drill. And as we go through Saturday afternoon, it does show maybe a couple showers popping up, but it looks like Friday right now is the peak day as far as thunderstorm activity is concerned. And we'll watch this in upcoming days here as we go through next week to see if that thunderstorm threat will continue. Looking at 80-meter wind speed. So we're still kicking things offshore as we go through the day today. We relax that gradient a little bit here as we go through this afternoon, but you can still see some of these gusty winds across Nevada, the Sierra Nevada here, some gusty north and northwest winds coming down the valley areas. And that kind of continues on as we go through the day Friday. Then we relax that gradient a bit. And check this out. This area here would be associated with the thunderstorm activity tomorrow afternoon. So you can see some of those gusty winds roaring down across the Tehachapi, maybe the Grapevine there. So watch out for some breezy winds out there associated with that thunderstorm activity, it looks like, as we go through tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow night. We're still keeping that offshore flow going, just not quite as strong. If we look at the daily 2-meter max temperatures, you can see this is Thursday today, and we go through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Pretty darn warm across many of the valley locations here, and a lot of the deserts really ramping up the temperatures. Look at Death Valley, probably pushing 108, 109. And yeah, so we're getting close to summertime here. June 1st is the start of meteorological summer, and you're starting to feel it out there for sure. Look at the snow water equivalent. You can see how the Southwest is doing much better than the Pacific Northwest, kind of that El Nino-ish signature here where we get that subtropical jet stream back up into the area a little bit more persistently. And it's paid off as far as snow water equivalent is concerned. So that is a good thing here for portions across the Southwest. You can see portions of, New Mexico and Colorado here not doing quite as well, however. But yeah, anyway, hopefully that made sense to you guys here. We'll continue to watch what's coming off in the future. Again, across the backcountry tomorrow, especially watch out for that thunderstorm activity. I hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.